initiates for the flame. You are now programmed to drop dem draws. Have you been maintaining your flame?
You underestimated your child. You underestimated your child. You underestimated your child.
Peace to the tribe. How we doing tonight? It's your boy AD, my Elijah Green. We here with a live show tonight as usual. We're gonna be talking about things as business, social media, and just everyday things, in our lives as well. We just two melanated men trying to, put ourselves out there to teach and connect with the community. So tap in with us. We need help with anything related to business, just getting yourself out there, building your brand, just, learning information. You always just go to Discord. I'm gonna drop the link in the QR code for you guys. And that's pretty much it. Our cash apps, Instagrams are below so you can get in with us. And also the website. So tap in with your brothers. But G, what's up, dog? How you feeling tonight? And what's up? With it?
Feeling lovely. Glad to be here. Glad to be breathing. I'm just grateful for life. Grateful for all the opportunities, that I have. I'm proud of the life that I've built. I'm not nowhere near done. Got a way more, way more of a way to strive. Definitely a longer road, but like I said, I'm just happy to be here. Glad to be talking to my bro AD.
That's what's up, bro. I think that's one thing that we can tend to forget when it comes to building our lives. We see so many things around us that we tend to look outside of ourselves to find out what kind of life that we want. And I bet, I see you as a person and just past experience, you're a person who, really writes, understand their mind, understand how they truly feel on the inside, and try to bring that out so you can really live true life from an inner perspective. So one thing I just really try to preach about to people is really being their journals and really just living that type of mind state. My homie Breeze and business partner always be saying, I try to make sure I'm in my journal a lot. And when you're in your journal a lot, you'll be in the mindset or consciousness that Elijah is in, creating life that he wants.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a key right there. You get those ideas out of your head. Stay writing down your journal. That's something that I do. I'll say on a consistent basis, not as consistent as as always the need to be, but it is something that it is a practice that I definitely utilize, and I'll say it's something that I played around with here and there, but I will always put it down. I would say that the kind of the end of 2024, I bought a weatherproof journal. Because that was my issue. I would have a journal, I would write ideas down, but something would always happen to it. It would always get wet, or it would just always get messed up. So I bought like industrial, weatherproof military type journal.
Right.
And I bought that end of 2024. And I mean, AD, you've seen kind of what I've been doing, just how I've been kind of pushing my campaign and my everything that I do since the end of last year. It's big 2025, how I've been moving. So yeah, definitely can attribute that a lot to you know, expressing myself to self, um, and you know, getting those ideas out of my head, putting those you know, on paper, and being able to, you know, create a plan in order to put things in action. And then, you know, another piece you said, just again, this importance of just being grateful for, you know, what it is that you have. Just remembering, you know, everything is self. So it's just everything that you're experiencing is, you know, a reflection of what's going on internally. So, um, yeah, in any moment where you feel as though things are not going, you know, your way, you're not experiencing what it is that you would like to experience, then you probably need to, you know, turn the mirror inside. And again, kind of the best, in my opinion, the best method for kind of just changing your vibration, changing your frequency in order to be able to experience what it is you want to experience is just finding something, you know, to be grateful for. And you know, for me, you know, that just starts with simply just waking up and breathing. You know, my breath is sacred. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, and one great thing you can do too when you first get up is giving thanks. That's one thing, like, really get the habit of, because I truly, you know, and spiritually observing this is how you really live righteously. You know what I'm saying? When you first get up and you give thanks, you have the mindset of, like, you know, revering and honoring your ancestors. You know, this is that time. Because, you know, and also, you know, when you first wake up, you have a different brainwave going, you know, and this allows you to be able to connect within yourself and find peace real quick. It's kind of hard to do in the middle of the day. You might find it easy when you wind down before you go to bed, but first thing in the morning, it's like really easy to lock in. But with that being said, a lot of times, you know, the first thing that we tend to do first thing in the morning is get on our phones and get on social media. And that is like first thing we see when it comes to our lives. And 9 times 10 when people are on social media, all they see is the things that they can't do or the things that they want to do. Like, gee, like what's some ways that you see like social media hijacking people's day, like right in the beginning?
Man. Ways that I've seen social media hijack people's day. I mean, first of all, I know like there's some grown men out there. There's some 30 something, you know, year old men. There's some, you know, guys in there, you know, 25 and up that's out here that's really in their feelings, jealous of teenagers, you know, because of the internet. And you know, people posting things and how folks express themselves and you know, people feeling as though that, you know, because somebody is making, you know, is portrays themselves in a certain way, right, that their existence is invalid, you know, in a sense that their experience matters less because, you know, their Instagram post gets fewer likes than someone else. You know, that's a crazy way to think. In my opinion, that's very, very matrix driven, if you ask me. to you know, just be stuck on, I'm going to share. I'm going to share my experience with others based on their validation, which is just kind of the opposite of how I was taught to move in this world. I don't know,
and another way that you can like really see social media hijacking people's day is that it's low key like spiritually decaying you. You know, a lot of people don't know, and I'm pretty sure you hear from any other like social media or just all these articles that's out there. But social media, when you get on there, you're getting a boost of dopamine. Whether you're getting likes, whether you're seeing your comedian, you're getting a boost of dopamine. And a lot of us don't realize how much, we get on there and just death stroke. Because we're like absorbing. Like, we always make jokes, but they say somebody's gonna come out like 20, 15 years later and see the person who made short film content for messing with people's attention span.
Yeah.
So it is like we gotta really see that. But
and you got people that you have like a new generation that this is all they know. This is what they're coming up under, and yeah, it's causing a different level of anxiety to these young people. I mean, you mentioned dopamine. It's like all of this is hormonal, and all of this is created by people in the government. People who study these things, who study people. They who have real money, real backing, and they use tactics to market whatever it is their message they're trying to get across, which right now is just grabbing your attention. And yeah, man, this stuff is crazy. All of this is really, you can't hide who you are and what you do. Everything that you do is built into your nervous system. So it's going to show in how you live. People with anxiety, they can't hide that. It's kind of built into their nervous system. They have to do deep spiritual work in order to fix that issue within themselves. This stuff is real. So yeah, these kids that are growing up in 2025 now, it's like, man, their nervous systems are going to be already hijacked for sure.
No, for real. And right here, like what I pulled up is an article that the Niches was playing created. You know what I'm saying? And this is into what we're like breaking down to like nitty gritty, right? We're just like talking about it and going over it. But of course, visit the Substack where you can get into this article where we're explaining, the spiritual decay behind just social media and everything, because this shit is engineering. It's a plan. This is not something that it's just randomly happening. Like, we have to think about how much the modern world is trapped in an endless cycle of overstimulation, right? Addiction and instant gratification. And the thing is like a lot of us don't even notice and see how that all this shit is a like social media is a cap out. And that's all just due because of the image, right? So when we like really get into what like image means, and just the root word, it'll kind of like go over your head and like mess you up, because it's like, damn, like I always thought it meant this. Really, so a piece of statuary, artificial representation that looks like a person or thing, likeness, drawing flesh or stature. So it's just like copy, imitate. We got to realize like a lot of people put on a show for us, images that we have, and most of the time, a lot of people are just like, most of these agents they say that's out here are people who like the things you like. They just, automatically just, really rock with you. Like they just know everything about the culture, about the vibe. Like people can really just seduce you by just copying what you do. And I'm just pulling this up because it's like we gotta really look at things that we see and things that we like going over. Because it's like a lot of times we get images planted in our minds. And that's what this is breaking into. That's what this article is talking about. Because we gotta think about how much hypersexualization is going on to the youth. And they do that through social media.
No, for real. And yeah, if you don't mind just going back to the etymology of image, right
Yeah,
quick.
of course.
It's just
You want to go all the way back up right here?
yeah. So yeah, piece of statutory artificial representation. This likeness figure. Like almost imagine. Yeah, it's like this makes me think of idols and idol worship, and that's what's going on. That's exactly what's going on. It's, everybody is trapped into their phone. Again, like we can speak surface level, we can get deep into what your phone is. Again, like it's a black mirror. It's made of crystals. It's a spiritual tool that you can utilize for your benefit, or you can allow to get it's a void as well. You can get trapped in. So don't allow what you see to take over your being and lead you to worshiping idols.
Yeah, and these idols can be people you have on Instagram. Like you'll be following somebody that got like 180K, 8K, whatever. They just got a good amount of followers. And you just be like, damn, how they do it? You just like rocking with this person, everything they say, but not realizing, most of the time, most of these guys are not living the lives they're saying that they are. Most of these guys are not making the money that they're portraying. And don't get me wrong, not everybody who has a big following is a fake and is playing people. But it's just like you got to see through the signs, because people will think that your business is getting motion just because you having all these likes and follows and engagement. Where this is like, it's always gonna be two sides of the coin. It's like, yeah, they probably not getting engagement on their posts. I bet their business still making money.
Yeah, I'm from Washington D.C., where it's a very heavy federal authority presence. I said it'd be like growing up here. I seen and I know people make money. Like I know what it's like. I know people that make money. People that make money ain't trying to let you know that they make money. Why would I? Well, you know what I'm saying? Like I make money. Like why would I show that?
So you boys can rob me?
So you boys can rob me? So you boys can rob me, or so them boys can rob me? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's one or the other. Stay styling.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like there's nothing wrong trying to get the average, because that's what social media is used for. It's used for the advertisement of business. It's used to help like grow your business, to get people who hasn't seen your business. Because as we was going over like marketing and advertising like a while ago, we was talking about making yourself available to people, and people use that through social media. So, and like a lot of people do go viral on social media by expanding their business, but there's ways to do it, and you have to just be willing to learn. But that's something that's like hard for people to do, is to learn, because everyone wants to assume they know everything, or we have a certain emotion and feeling tied to it that makes us not want to do stuff, or not want to do stuff. Man, or they'll be there when I get to it. Like at the end of the day, we all know we want these things because how the image looks. Because for all my Robert Greene fans out there, at 48 Laws of Power, he talks about how your image is and your reputation is key, is important, and how you bring that and what is done to it matters. Imagine being, a great politician, but you get locked up for some hothead shit. People are gonna be like, I'm not saying you'll always lose votes, but it's gonna be the majority of people that's like, oh, he this and that. But other people are like, man, you don't understand what happened. So you gotta think about how much your reputation is important. But you just can't go out here like a fraud. That's how you protect your reputation. Yeah, who you really are.
Yeah, man. Everything you do matters. It's a small world, smaller than we think, especially now with internet. I'm from the DMV, AD from the St. Louis area. Not the biggest cities in the world. It's easy to run into people, and it's like you gotta how you treat people when you run into them. It matters, because it's not even about words spreading around and people gossiping, anything like that. But you're probably gonna run into that person again, and energy changes. So where you were, when you first ran into that person, you're probably not going to be in the same position. They're probably not going to be in that same position. So you always want to, just be cautious of that, for sure. And, another thing is like when you are looking to gain ground or gain footing in an area, you're looking, to grow or expand your business. And it's important to understand that, there are people who are in that space, who are in that field, who have experience, who have done a lot of groundwork. And so when you're coming into that space, it's important to always be yourself and express yourself, how you are. But it's also important to, it's not about being fearful and stepping on people's toes. But again, to my first point, how you deal, how you treat people when you come and meet them. It's important to just, reflect upon that and make sure that, you're treating people with respect, and always knowing that, again, there's a chance that you'll run into people again. So just make sure you're able to stand on your actions, stand on your energy, stand on how you treat people,
That's important, because I promise you'll try to get into somewhere. I think I'm like, oh, I don't like him. That's going to be enough. So I think there's this guy who deals with he tried to get an interview with Mike Tyson, and instead of him just trying to connect with Mike Tyson, he connected with people around Mike Tyson that got him to talk to him. So it's just you got to realize who you know is important, because they were like, oh, I know him, bro. But his mama used to feed me and him and all my cousins every time he came over there. Be surprised.
Yeah, and I mean, even for that guy, that's fine if that's how you got that, interview. with Mike Tyson, but it's like, yeah, just make sure that you respect how how you receive the interview. Make sure you respect his team. Make sure you don't portray a false kind of appearance as though you're buddies with Mike Tyson and you call him. You know what I mean? Like make sure you're honest and not just not giving and because that's blindsiding them. Like if they're coming on your platform and they, people are asking them questions about your relationship and they're like, what are you talking about our relationship? You know what I mean? It's just honestly it's not even fair to do that. So just make sure be grown, stand on your own and everything. It's like do what you do and just be able to stand on it. Even if you got to fight, like, hey, like be able to be, hey, no, you got to fight. Go ahead and start working out. What you got to do.
I'm saying, and it's like if you don't find something to stand up for, you're gonna be falling down for nothing. You go just represent, praise anything, violence. But it's like when you find something to stand up for, you let it basically like the universe energy, things that's so called meant for you or not line to you. So it's just like you choose certain things, but we don't realize that.
No, real talk.
So, and just standing on your own, a lot of people will really fuck with you when you stand on your own because it's like, oh man, this person cool, man. I like how they out there. I like their confidence. I like how they talk, where they talking from. Where if they pulling this information, or if they doing research. Like your style, shine the people. I like that. It's like it's basically how you become a leader, and other leaders want to learn from you and work with you. But you gotta be willing to learn from them too.
Yeah, no, that's real game. Any team, it's a team because different people have different areas of expertise. It's like otherwise, why would you even want to be involved with those folks? They should know something that you don't, and you should know something that they don't. And y'all should be working. If y'all are working towards a common goal, is sharing resources, sharing, and the greatest resource. Well, there's a lot of great resources, but one of them for sure is definitely knowledge and information. So yeah, man, make sure you're sharing that love with your people.
You got to. It's just that's how. Like it's like when you learn so much information, it comes to a point where you have to teach. Like as I got to just doing martial arts, I got to a point where it's like I had to start teaching people, and it was just like, oh, okay, like I just learned more when I started teaching people because it's like thing is you have to really be sure you know what the hell you're talking about. Because it's like if you don't know what you're talking about and you teach people. You gotta be willing to relearn and actually talk from a point from a true premise, and that takes like true wisdom and true confidence, true leadership, because you're willing to make a mistake and say that you're wrong in front of it. There's been times where I showed something and I came back and was like, hey, I actually here's a better way. Y'all can keep doing that way. I said this, but that was kind of wrong. Like you got to be doing that. That's what people want. I keep learning.
Yeah, man. No, for real. The humbleness it takes, to get to that point. First off, is like to even want to get to that point to teach. It takes it took you a long road to even get there. And so, yeah, you already learned a lot, but then, to your point, once you get to that point of teaching others, it's like, you're on a whole nother level. You're on a whole nother frequency, and there's so much more for you to intake, um, and as you're able to intake that and receive all of that, there's so much more for you to give and share as well. So it's a give and take for sure. Yeah,
It's,
man.
it's
It's all a
crazy.
blessing.
Like, so right here, right? So I had showed that article earlier, and I was doing some journaling. This kind of like relates to what I was reading through and what I was writing about. But rejection of this engineered debauchery begins with playing with discipline, with rejecting false pleasures designed to enslave. Like, it begins rebuilding the family with creating strong spiritual awareness. Strong spiritual aware communities that do not rely on poison institutions that seek control to them. And it's like you gotta be willing to stand out and be on that type of level because to be able to lead other people, you have to be like aware of those things, like where we can go wrong, is what can cause overstimulation, and even for yourself, and it's like falling on your disciplines is gonna be key because that's what's gonna save you. Like doing the work, just like being honest with yourself when you can't do the work, understanding when you don't feel like it, understanding when you're scared to leave, understanding like I don't want to do this. Yeah, you gotta like really work still with those things before like you try to take on all this mantle because you'll just like kind of like want to quit.
Yeah.
But you got to realize though, like as they say, be prepared those who are called. So make sure you check out the Masonic Society debauchery, the Russian of youth, and hidden hand engineering spiritual decay. Check this out. It was a really good article, and just want to pull some points that we was kind of talking about a little bit, but just heavy hard on the social media because we just get so lost in it and we let it control us and really make us forget about the main purpose. But there's just so many distractions on social media. Like, I feel like if you're not using social media to build like your business and learn stuff, like don't get me wrong, you probably have time to be chatting and have fun. But when you like really like sitting stuff to people like, yo, check this website out and teaching us we can do this. I literally have like 3, 4, 5 conversations. Just sitting up just like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I use my social media for, it changes, depending on the particular time, but I utilize my social media, for a very specific purpose and reason, at any given time, and at times I do utilize it to intake and to learn, depending on the whatever endeavor I'm embarking on. Over the last year or two, I've picked up on photography. I picked up on videography. So I utilize social media to learn different skills within those fields to kind of just intake inspiration in order to kind of frame how I want to operate. At the same time, I utilize it more to create movement, in order to make, the people that I know who are kind of on my vibe, on my frequency, again, to move in a particular fashion. So, yeah, it's just again, like, yeah, everything is just your choice on how you utilize anything. There's good and bad in everything. Or maybe there is no good and bad in anything. So either it exists or it don't. But either way, who really cares? So it's just like, what you gonna do? Like what is your why? How about you just focus on that, and everything else will kind of take care of itself.
If you keep doing that, why you gonna have a reason to show up every day. When you feeling weak, why? You don't feel like doing it, why? You want to give up, why? You want to do something dumb, why? Like, it's like when you want to spend money, and it's like, why though?
I literally asked that question. I literally had to ask that. So I was trying to spend some money today. I was like, why? I literally did that today.
Why? It's like, man, I want this though, but why? And you just realize that it's stupid.
I'm trying to get my hair done next week. Let me save my money for that.
Yeah. See, like that's important. That's important. It's like, you want that hair done, and you know what's crazy? That's what gets you a lot of jobs. People just checking you out. When you just take care of your appearance, and like you'll be surprised how many people just like, yo, what's up? You like, hey.
Don't say that, because you about to make me not get my hair done now. You just made me. I'm about to be ignoring. I got one homie. He already, every time I get my sheet, Elijah on the light skin. It's like,
man, it's just like, it's a must. I remember one time, what was it? I was like really trying to find barber at the time, whatever. And then like I met this person. They like just basically just washed my hair with herbs and shit and got me right. And it's just like, man, like I low key like feel like I just manifested some shit right after that. It's on a come up. So that's why I like strong like that. I ain't seen people just, do things with their hair, or how they had trauma with their hair and then just turn it around and just got a bunch off that shit. It's crazy.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, it's real. Like we said a couple times in the episode, man, just saying everything itself is all about, and everything is really you're experiencing. What you feeling on the inside. So, hey, you're feeling good, clean yourself up, make yourself look good. And, to your point, you think about getting your stuff done. Whatever you think, you think about you. So, go ahead, let it come your way.
Brutal.
Yeah, man.
Well, I appreciate the tribe. We always try to be consistent with these. We always be consistent with these. Of course, you saw the initial flame on Moon Day, so make sure you check us out on Moon Day. We're gonna come out with some more stuff this weekend. Like I said, new products and lines coming out. And thank you for everybody that's always watching. Of course, thank you for watching Green, my dog. You always be coming out here doing your thing. It's really teaching the tribe. So shout out to Candyland. You'll be surprised how fast that snow gonna come. So, snow caps.
No bull. But for real though. Shout out to you again, 2AD. Appreciate you. Shout out Ness for the Flame. Whole squad. You. Shout out Serpent. Shout out Hood. Shout out Breeze. Shout out the Collective.
That's the podcast.
Shout out the Collective. We back, baby. We in the building. Y'all be patient. Like, it's coming. I got a lot, working on a lot of things.
Funny niggas deep, bro.
Yeah, it's like trust me, we here, but just whole lot going on. But the collective is here, so a whole lot going on with that. Follow me on Instagram at the Elijah Green. Check out what I got going on. Again, we got the Candyland movement happening. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it now. It is coming to a close very soon. I mean, shoot, summer's here. The summer is damn near here, and 2025, we doing things, seasonally, everything. So, excuse me. Summer campaign is set to go. But I'm gonna leave that. We're gonna announce that soon, very soon. So just stay tuned. Look out for that. Still Candyland for now, but the next thing's coming. But yeah, appreciate AD, appreciate the initiate, shout out the collective, Elijah Green, Candyland, all that. Baby.
Peace.
Initiates for the flame. You are now programmed to drop dem draws. Have you been maintaining your flame?
You underestimated your child. You underestimated your child. You underestimated your child.
BeatStars.com. Damn nickname. This the one. BeatStars.com. 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 Beats. BeatStars.com. Damn nickname. This the one. BeatStars.com. Beats. BeatStars.com.